guys? Welcome to another episode of Elevated and Chill, Season 3, Episode 1. It's your boy CJ back. So glad to be back with you guys. Miss you guys dearly, home team. We got a jam-packed agenda, a lot going on for Season 3. We have a lot of things planned for you guys. It's been a long time coming. I'm happy to be back. And let's get this show rocking and rolling with season 3 on deck. Season 3 is on the way. Episode 1, as you can tell, home team, I'm very excited. Can't you tell I missed you guys? Your boy is back though. Topping it off with a vibe check. Vibe check is usually our segment about mental health and mental check. Checking in with you guys to make sure everything is copacetic, right? And letting you guys a little bit of insight into what's going on with me. And that's gonna be the segment for moving forward for season 3. I know we've done it a lot in for the previous season, season 2 and season 1. But now we're officially naming it the vibe check, and that's what we're starting off with. Um, yeah, so it's a couple life updates. Traveled a lot this year. Last year, I'm sorry. Getting mixed up in my years, but last year traveled a lot. Went to Nashville. Nashville was beautiful. I went to Ghana. Ghana, a lot going on in Ghana. Definitely a different perspective. Gained a little bit of perspective going there, but a lot of history. The culture there is amazing. Had a good time over there. Food is great as well. Then traveled to Europe. I went to Germany. I went to Prague and I went to Amsterdam. If I had to rank all those in order, I'd probably go Prague, Amsterdam, and then Germany. I think Prague is amazing home team. If you get out there anytime you can, I actually want to go back. When we went, it was kind of like raining and stuff like that, but it was just beautiful, beautiful sights, amazing. Definitely a walkable city. A lot of history, architecture, whatever you guys are into. Prague has the food is amazing, the nightlife is amazing, everything's amazing about Prague. Prague is hands down beautiful. Then I went to Amsterdam. Amsterdam was like I expected. Very what really surprised me there is you know the biking. There's a lot of biking that goes on there. It's kind of like you would think that, but kind of caught me off guard about the amount of bikes out of there. The amount of bikes out of there is kind of crazy. So a lot of bikes, very like kind of niche town. I said town, niche city, but definitely, again, a lot of history there as well. Along with, just a vibe and, everything is kind of free flowing, a lot of, the cafes and all that stuff. So definitely, Amsterdam, Germany. I think for me, Germany, I kind of expected it to be something and it wasn't. Um, and I think that's where my letdown was. But overall, like, I wouldn't go back to Germany per se because we did explore a lot. We went to Munich, went to Berlin, went to Cologne. So we did a lot of touring in Germany. But yeah, just Germany wasn't, I think because like I said, I expected a lot from it. So therefore, when I went there, the expectations or reality didn't hit the expectation. So those are my top orders. Uh and yeah, I mean, like I said, like I keep emphasizing, go see Prague, guys. It's amazing. Um In other news, also ended up moving. So I'm in a new space as well, which is lovely. Definitely had to, it's good to get a shift in energy, some new energy going on, last year. When I got back from Germany, from Europe, it was just kind of like full on planning for you guys, moving. A lot of things were manifesting. You know, like I said, definitely planning for season 3. Like I said, we have a lot of things stored for you guys, so hopefully, you guys get to see it. You guys get to see it, tap in. You know what I mean? And it's gonna be a wonderful season. And obviously a wonderful journey that happy to share with the home team. And it starts off with season three for sure. Yeah, I mean that's a life day for me. Life's been life in. Definitely just really into my hobbies. I got back into photo editing. Got back into dance, taking it kind of more seriously. And just that's for the new year. That's kind of like gonna be my agenda. Obviously the pod, photography, and also dance, as well as just continuing to excel in my career and stuff like that. So vibe check, everything is copacetic. There was a lot going on last year. And, we want to take this momentum. It is the year of the horse. Into 2026. So you want to take that momentum and kind of use it to achieve your goals or whatever you got, home team. So again, home team, let me know what your goals are. I know we have a later segment talking about the new year specifically, like traditions and stuff like that, but let me know what your goals are for the new year. Would love to hear it, give insight, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, so like I said, everything is copacetic. I'm excited for the new year. I'm excited for season three. And launching it and getting it started and up and running. Obviously January into February is football season. We're in the playoffs right now. Wild card is here. It was yesterday. Um and this is where champions are built. Champions are built in the playoffs. I said it on multiple occasions. You could have a great regular season, but all of a sudden you could have a lackluster playoffs, and that really is what define you. So again, playoffs build championship of champions. So kind of going into the AFC, the Broncos and the C. No, well, kind of just general look at the playoff bracket. Obviously the Broncos and the Seahawks are number one. Um, I kind of saw this coming from the Seahawks. The Seahawks look really like kind of progressing and kind of you know getting back to the prominence that they once had with like Russell Wilson and that legion of boom. The Broncos are back as well with the resurgence. Bo Nix and all that and that team. They have a resurgence there, so it's kind of looking like a 2015 kind of season where Broncos are number one with Peyton Manning. The Patriots are doing well too, so that's exciting. Even though I'm a Giants fan and it sucks, but it's good to see, how the Patriots went from having Tom Brady and being lackluster to now and losing Bill Belichick, and now they're where they are right now. It's definitely a great sight to see. Um, but just looking at this on playoff bracket, like shifting over to the East, you got the Broncos obviously at number one, so they are automatically advanced. Then you got the different wild card games. Um, I gotta say, Steelers Texans. I'm probably gonna go with the Texans because like I said, I'm a big I love that team. They are fifth. They haven't really been doing too well, but I think they're young. Um they made some noise in the playoffs last year, so hopefully they could kind of like continue on that momentum. And I love CJ Stroud and I love Nico Collins and all of them over there. So hopefully they get something done. Um Bills and Jaguars. I want Josh Allen to get something. Mahomes isn't in the playoffs. Lamar isn't in the playoffs, so you got his two basically rivals not in the playoffs. So I think if this is the time to do anything, it's definitely right now for Josh Allen. Josh Allen needs to make something happen, and I think he could. I think he has the potential of doing what he needs to do to take the Bills and make a run. I kind of hope he gets a ring, but I think he can make a deep run, judging by the fact off rip, Mahomes and Lamar aren't in the playoffs. So those are his two like usually like obstacles, and they're not there. So hopefully it's a clean route to the Super Bowl. We'll see. Um, Patriots and Chargers. I'm just gonna go with the Chargers. I've been saying this for a while. I think the Chargers are a dark horse. In the just the NFL now. They have a young team. And I think they really know how to play. And I just think like their coaching and all that stuff. So I think that I'm rocking with the Chargers. And obviously like I'm a little Patriot hater. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm from New York, so you gotta you know Patriots from Boston, so gotta be a little bit of a hater there. So I'm definitely going with the Chargers. Switching over to the NFC. The Seahawks are number one, so the Seahawks get they get a bye this week. Which I'm just excited to see them play. Like I said, they've been doing really well. So I'm excited to kind of see where they go. Um, Panthers, Rams. Obviously, I wanted the Rams to win. I think this was a easy win for them. Yesterday they did win. But the Panthers put up a fight. Panthers put up a fight. I think the Rams, that mishap before the halftime is when the Panthers started to make their run. And the Rams. Yo, listen, man. I always say, you could be the best team, you could be the better team, but you really need to keep what you got to keep the foot on the neck, the gas all the way down, especially when you just never can't underestimate anybody. And I think at one point the Rams were doing this, and that's why the Panthers were able to kind of make a come up. But at the same time, the Rams did pull it out. So shout out to them. That's a good team. They have a good defensive line. Sean McVay is a good coach. He made some errors, but I think he'll learn from it and bounce back. Especially, you can't make those errors with the Seahawks. So hopefully they don't make those errors. They have a night Jared Verse. I believe he won rookie of the defensive rookie of the year. He's a great lineman. I think he's gonna have a great career moving forward. Um, they got fucking Devontae Adams and Puka Nuka. The you can't really go wrong with a wide receiver core like those two. Those two are elite. Even though Devontae Adams, he's had his pearls and he has his trials and tribulations, but he's by far, hands down, when healthy, one of the best of receivers in the NFL. And then you have Puka Nuka, who's I don't know. I've seen some plays by Puka and it's like, whoa, how'd you do that? How'd you do that? So I'm excited. I'm excited for the Rams. I think they deserved it. And Matthew Stafford is a great quarterback. He's one of those quarterbacks who isn't like a Pat Mahomes or Lamar Jackson, but he's one of the quarterbacks that he'll get the job done. You put some decent pieces around him, he's gonna get the job done. So I think the Rams make a deep run as well. We'll see what happens. Um, then we got the Eagles and the 49ers. And you know what? I'm a Eagles hater. Everybody's a Chiefs hater. I'm a Eagles hater. You wanna know why? They beat the Chiefs last year. And you know what, man? It's just like, they seem they I feel like they're becoming like the next Chiefs. And listen, I gotta hate sometimes, you know what I mean? I'm a little bit of a hater, but you know what? But I think the Eagles are a good team. So you never want to underestimate them. I'm going with the 49ers though. I think, Kyle Shanahan is a fucking amazing coach. Brock Purdy, even though he's not an amazing quarterback, he's one of those average quarterbacks, and the pieces he has around him are, you can't go wrong with Christian McCaffrey. He's like a Swiss Army knife. He could run the ball. You could play him in the, he could, you could put him in like a slot receiver. So you could never go wrong with Christian McCaffrey. But then again, the Eagles, you can't underestimate the Eagles. Jalen Hurts is amazing, even though they kind of they had injuries and they had losses and stuff like that. I think you still can't undergo. You just can't. You just can't. Jalen Hurts is one of those quarterbacks. Like I would fit him in like that. Pat Mahomes, where like he's calm, cool, collected. So again, you can't underestimate them. But I'm going with the 49ers. That is my pick. Um, Bears and Packers. That was a game. I was kind of undecided in this game because I'm a big fan of Jordan Love, but I'm also a fan of Caleb Williams. But I did end up going with the Bears. I feel like the Bears are now coming back. And Caleb Williams is an amazing quarterback. Obviously, he's young, so he has a lot to learn. I don't think they're gonna make a deep run in the playoffs. Again, sometimes when a team is young, it's hard. It's hard for them. It's hard when you're young, when you don't have that experience to actually kind of make a deep run in the playoffs. But I'm excited to see where they go. And it just builds experience, especially when you're somebody like Caleb Williams, who is showing promise. And boy, that game was the games yesterday were amazing. And that game, I turned off the TV 21-3, and I had to return on the TV because I'm over here looking at ESPN and they're going absolutely insane. So I think I got the bear. I got the Bears at least going to the put in a real solid holding their own against either the Eagles or the 49ers. I'm excited to see that game as well. So those are my predictions. If I had to take a long shot right now, I would say I would personally want either the Rams. I want to go into the Super Bowl, for sure, and I'd probably. I'm not gonna lie to you. I would want the Broncos to go because I think Denver is a great city. I'm just kind of being biased a little bit, but I think the Broncos are great, and I think they're a good team this year. They're well coached. Bo Nix is having a year, so I think the Rams and the Broncos. If I had to take a long shot, obviously I will continue guys to let you guys know down the road where we're at and what are my picks. We're locked in home team for this playoff journey of the NFL. Let me know what your picks are. Put it in the comments. Would love to hear insight on what you guys think. What are your insights? Who's gonna win? Who's the favorites? Let me know, home team, what's going on on your guys' end. I would love to hear what you guys have to say. I also want to mention, and I kind of briefly spoke on this. The Patriots and the Broncos having like a resurgence. Um, and it's just like again, like you just love to see teams like that who are once like playoff contenders and actually won a Super Bowl. And then obviously tank because like people get older, retire. The Brady era and the Payne Manning area. I mean, I'm sorry, era. And now it's like now there is a resurgence with new quarterbacks. Drake May is playing absolutely amazing. Even though I'm a Patriots hater, you just got to give credits where credit is due. So I just love the resurgence of both the Patriots, the Broncos, and also throwing in the Seahawks as well. So I'm excited to see what they do in the playoffs. And hopefully they can make something happen. I wouldn't be surprised if the Seahawks make it to the Super Bowl. But again, I am going with the Rams. I think the Rams are a good team. And I'm just a huge Puka Nuka fan. I'm a huge Matthew Stafford fan. I think he's a solid quarterback. So like I said, let's see what's going on. Um, Kind of switching gears. And staying in the world of sports though. The NBA is mid season. We're approaching the All Star break. And you know, home team. I gotta tell you, man. You know, that boy Wimby is something else. I know he's been injured, but like, imagine being 7'5" and you have a jump shot and you could handle. To me, that is absolutely incredible. And just like I think it stems beyond just the fact that his physical attributes. It's more so also the fact that, he also has like that leadership mentality. And he just wants to win. So he'll do anything. And honestly, I think from years going down, he might end up being defensive player of the year, MVP, and finals MVP in 1 year. Because the way he could get off a block and the way he could score is very, very fucking scary. And in 2024, when we were going up against the USA was going up against France in the Olympics, I was like, yo, we could potentially lose if Wimby has a fucking game. Like if Wimby had a couple more years, I honestly think we may have lost. But obviously, when you have when you have three people like KD, Stephen, LeBron, I mean, that's just you have no answers for any of them, and it's amazing what they did. But I like Wimby is scary. Wimby is very scary. He's pre he has the attention of the league. I'm telling you right now, and he's taking that Spurs team to a whole nother level, which kind of leads me to say like they actually kind of might make a run in the playoffs. Uh, yeah, they're 27-11. That's not bad. Especially at the midway point of the year. Obviously the Thunder are always up there, but the Thunder have lost to the Spurs three times. So it's like if the Spurs meet the Thunder in the playoffs, they have just by regular season. But then again, the regular season doesn't really count because if you home team, if you look back at 2011 when the Heat faced the Celtics beat them. They I think they swept them in the regular season, but they ended up beating them in the playoffs. So playoffs in the regular season are a different kind of atmosphere. Obviously, just going into the playoffs, you got that leverage of we beat you three times already. We got your number. And they got one. And also, but they also got the Aaron Fox, Stephon Castle. They have Sochim, I think his name is. Home team. Don't come at me, mispronounce his name. Let me know exactly how to pronounce his name. I'm sorry about that. I think it's Jeremy Sochin. I believe so. Let me know. Correct me if I'm wrong. Um, and they also got that guy, that rookie Harper as well. So they're a good team. They're scary. Obviously the Nuggets, the Jokic went down with an injury, but he's only gone for 4 weeks. So they're gonna make a run. The Lakers are five, which is kind of impressive given the fact that they've been playing shitty. I'm a LeBron fan. Home team. You guys know I'm a LeBron fan. I'm a LeBron stan actually. But watching the Lakers play and knowing that every time LeBron steps on the floor with them, it's a completely shitty team. Listen, man, LeBron, yo, man, you got to get with the program, bro. I love you. Got to get with the program. But I think Luka this year has been playing absolutely out of his mind. I think at one point he was averaging like 40, like 35 or something shit like that. But also a breakout star is Anthony. I said Anthony. I think it's Reeves. Yeah, Reeves. Reeves is I don't let me see. Hold up. Players. Hold up. Let me see. Let me see. Austin. I don't know why home team. I thought his name was Anthony Austin. I knew it started with an A, but you guys knew what I was talking about. Reeves. He's a breakout star. Um, just by what he was doing in the beginning of the season was absolutely disgusting. Like just him and Luca were just being that 1-2 punch that the Lakers need aside from having LeBron. So if LeBron meshes into that team, might be a little scary things going on, but so the West is as usual packed for sure. They're definitely jam packed. I think really um a lot of teams can make noise. The Rockets. I mean, KD's KD, but at the same time, like there's a lot going on in the West. I do think the Spurs have they're a dark horse, and I will say this: I don't know if the Mavericks might make the playoffs, but if they do, that boy Cooper Flag is absolutely amazing. He's a generational talent. And let me explain why. He's coming to the NBA. This is his rookie year, and he's doing things that normally rookies wouldn't do. Mind you, he's like a 6'9" point guard. He's a 6'9" point guard home team. So I don't know. I think if the Mavs get Kyrie back, they get 80s healthy and Cooper Flag. I mean, I don't know. Like that, they could seriously make noise in the playoffs. But if I think for the finals, my dark horse is gonna be the Spurs for sure. I got the Spurs going dark horse. Um, the Eastern Conference. Listen, I've been saying this. The Pistons are great. They have a good core. I was I mentioned a stat in the and either season two or season one that Kate Cunningham is the most efficient player by the stats. I don't know where he's at right now, but at one point he got all his buckets off of just buckets, no free throws, no nothing, and that's impressive. But they're number one. A huge turnaround from years past. But they got a good core. Jalen Duran. They got Jaden Ivey, Kate Cunningham. They got a good coach. I believe it's JB. JB. So they have a good rapport going on. Good team. And they're hopefully they're young, but I think they're gonna make noise in the playoffs as well. I would love to see them go into that at least the Eastern Conference Finals. Um, but then you got teams that are hungry. I think the Knicks is their team. And believe me, if the Knicks make it to the finals, New York is going absolutely insane. It's gonna be havoc everywhere in New York. So, but I'm excited. I'm excited. I'm not a Knicks fan, but I'm excited. As a New Yorker, I want the New York teams to win. I want the Knicks in the finals. Even though I'm not a Knicks fan, I will be rooting for the Knicks because I'm a New Yorker and we as New Yorkers deserve a ring. So, Knicks, Jalen Brunson, Cat, all you guys, I want you guys to make it to. I want you guys to make a deep run for sure. Um, you know, the Raptors also making some noise. I think the Raptors could make could put up some numbers in the playoffs. I don't really know. Brandon Ingram's playing well as well. So that's a team to watch out for. The Magic are a young team as well, but I think the two here are the one and the two. I seen Jason Tatum, and correct me if I'm wrong, practicing, and if he comes back, that might be a little bit of noise, but he's also coming back off of Achilles injury, so. But they're still number three. Jalen Brown, yo, listen, Jalen Brown, listen. I always say when I'm wrong. Yo, listen, Jalen Brown, you have improved tremendously. The Celtics are number three in the East right now because of you. You showed up. You've been hooping. The shout out Jalen Brown. He's definitely turned his game around. He's definitely been serious about everything. So shout out Jalen Brown. Yeah, he's been playing absolutely amazing. And like I said, the Celtics are number three because three in the East because of Jalen Brown. Um, and with Jalen Brown playing like this, like I said, the Celtics could also make a deep run as well. I think what makes me sad is the fact that the Bucks are so low. And my thing is just like, damn, it's like you guys were once like every year competing for a chip. Now it's just like you guys are number 11, and there's tension there. There's tension there. So it's either one of two things. The the Knicks can make a run for Giannis, but you give up a lot, or Giannis could leave and go somewhere else. Obviously the big talk right now is the Hawks. They traded Trey Young to the Wizards. Yo, listen, the Wizards got fucking Trey Young on a fucking steal. To be, he ain't gonna have to give a shit. And Trey Young, he averages 25 and 10. He could do that. So if the Wizards are smart, you start building around them. That's all. Simple as that. I mean, then again, it's the Wizards, so I don't really know how much game they got, but you never know. Hopefully, home team, the Wizards could moving forward could be a prominent team. But um, rocking with the Pistons though, I hold the Pistons rocking with the Pistons to make a playoff run. I think the Eastern Conference Finals is going to be the Knicks and the Pistons. Obviously, going with the Knicks for sure. Um, which kind of leads me into my chill and ask question of the pod of today's session. I briefly mentioned it when I was talking about the NFL and playoff bracket. Dark horse to win the Super Bowl, or maybe I didn't. Maybe I just briefly mentioned something about dark horse. But anyways, here goes my dark horse pick to win the Super Bowl. This is gonna get some controversy, but I don't know, man. the Chargers. There's just something about the Chargers and about that team and the coaching staff that they have that I feel like they can make a serious run in the Super Bowl. Granted, this is a dark horse, but you never know. They might actually pull it off. So that's my kind of dark horse for the Super Bowl. Home team, let me know what your dark horse is. Would love to see where you guys fall at. And please don't give me no Eagles or none of that. Because we kind of already know Eagles isn't really a dark horse, but I know you guys are very thoughtful, and you guys will pick a solid dark horse for the Super Bowl. So drop it in the comments. We'll love to hear what you guys have to say about who's gonna win the Super Bowl. And generally speaking, just put your comments. Um, Tell me about the Super Bowl. What do you guys think? But definitely want to know about the dark horse specifically. Um, and then for the NBA, my chilling ass question is, who's your midseason MVP? It's tough, man. It's tough. It's tough. It's tough. But if I had to choose a midseason MVP, I'd probably go Luca. I think where Luca is taking the Lakers is it has to be on notice. I think he really has taken the Lakers in post LeBron, because LeBron isn't really having he's no the thing with LeBron is just like sometimes you see him and it's like, all right, he has like a couple more. I think he might be done, but then like you see him play some other games, and you're like, oh, I think he might have a decent. I think he might actually be what you call it, could play a little bit more. So like, but LeBron is LeBron. But what Luka is doing with the Lakers, he's being that number one option, and we know that Luka could, could score, but at the same time, like where he has the Lakers, if the Lakers make a deep run, I think he deserves to be the MVP. I think he came off the gates hot. I mean, he's been available. He has a little bit of injuries here and there, but I think he's for the most part been healthy. And I just think like, yo, like give this guy his props. You know what I mean? I think he definitely deserves his props. And I think my midseason MVP would probably be Luca. Um, Home team, let me know what you guys think about your midseason MVP for the NBA. Again, we're approaching the All-Star break. Um, Obviously excited for the All-Star break, but let me know who you guys think is the midseason MVP. Um, and yeah, again, like the NBA and the NFL are like the two prominent sports in during this time. Obviously you got the All-Star game coming up for the NBA. You know, Playoffs happening for the NFL. So, you know, definitely it's that time of the year, man. But I mentioned this in the vibe check, and I wanted to, kind of just make it its own segment as well in the pod. New Year's. Um, New Year's has like a tradition of like, people like to throw parties and some people like to be laid back. But I think overall the major thing is resolutions. I know like I mentioned at the top of the pod, but I'll dive in a little bit deeper now. Some of my New Year's resolutions, is obviously, get back, photography. I took a lot of photos last year, but I think, just being transparent with you guys, being lackluster with with the editing. So getting my portfolio up, my one of my goals this year is to, start a photography page. So stay tuned. Season three got some nuggets. I'm telling you, season three got some nuggets. But yeah, photography page soon come. You know, there's gonna be a lot of things going on for season three, so just pay attention. Pay attention. Um, Another thing is just like getting better with dance. Dance is something that I revisited last year. And I've grown. It kind of reinvigorated my passion for it. So I'm excited for what this new year brings for dance. I think I ended strong on dance and with dance. I was in between a little like, ah man, like a little bit like feeling like stagnant, but like it's like the incremental growth that you need to like focus on. And it's the same thing with photography as well. With photography, it's like not every shot is gonna be your best shot. You just gotta take multiple shots. You know what I mean? And the same thing with dance. Like you just gotta get out there and dance, and obviously practice your moves. It's like literally like a sport. You gotta treat it like a sport. And it's also my way of being like, getting cardio and being active and stuff like that. So another thing, I'm back in the gym, heavy back in the gym. I'm back in the gym. I'm back on my diet. I lost weight going into this year. Obviously, and at the tail end of last year, gained the winter weight, but going into this year, I lost weight, and I'm gonna continue. I have a goal that I wanna hit on weight wise. So definitely back on my diet, hitting the gym 4 to 5 times a week, and or just staying active 4 to 5 times a week. Not necessarily going to the gym, but if I had dance a week, one day a week, that kind of factors into me staying healthy and I'm being active and stuff like that. And yeah, career, I want to continue progressing my career, grow, obviously get like certifications and stuff like that. So those are some of my New Year's resolutions, along with though the pod. This is definitely a goal for me. I want to, give you guys the home team, more episodes, more more live content. We got some other things in the works for season 3, like I mentioned. So the pod is definitely a heavy focus for me in 2026. And like I said, like this is the year of the horse. Right now we're in that little purgatory stage where the year of the snake is still there. So like the symbolic behind it is like, you're shedding weight and stuff like that. But now, the year of the horse, 2026, a year of momentum. I'm hitting your goals. So home team, yo, I'm right behind you guys. Definitely want you guys to drop it in the comments. Let me know what your goals are. How can the pod help you guys? What do you guys want to see from season 3? And generally speaking from the pod, I'm back. We are back. The pod is back. I'm excited to be back with you guys. I miss you guys so much. Um, and to end today's session, like we always do with elevated advice, um, sponsored by CoStar. CoStar, wherever you're at, we want that bag. We want that contract. Send that over. We are waiting patiently, might I add. But my elevated advice is this: if you keep dating the same kind of person, you're going to keep having the same kind of problems. I think it's kind of self-explanatory. What that means is it's kind of like if you keep doing the same thing over and over and it's not working, then the results are always going to be negative. There has to be a point in time where you kind of switch things up and you kind of realize like, all right, this wasn't working for me. So now I need to flip and I need to change some things up. So I think, like I said, self-explanatory. But yeah, like it's good to. I think it not only stems in the dating world though, just in life. Like again, like if you want results and you're not seeing results, then you got to change something up. Maybe something that you're doing isn't right, and also like seek knowledge from somebody who maybe has been in that position or is knowledgeable in what you're trying to do. It's always good to speak to somebody and like bounce ideas off. So that's my interpretation of the elevated advice for you guys. Home team, let me know what you guys think um about it, and also drop your elevated advice in the comments. Would love to hear what you guys have to say. Um and yeah, season 3, we are here. We're back. We're back better than ever. Like I said, I'm gonna keep on stressing it. I miss you guys so much. And I'm just happy to be back with you guys. Um, and yeah, we're live on YouTube, 6 p.m. Eastern time, 3 p.m. Pacific time. If you're watching in the Pacific, the West Coast. And we're live on YouTube Thursdays. And yeah, home team, I love you guys. And we'll be back for episode 2 next week. Catch you guys on the flip side.